that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true, but now...
Man, I am in a good mood today. I don't have a lot of reasons to be in a good mood. I actually kind of feel really sick. I've been under the weather for the last few days. That's why you haven't heard from me. Like that, like a cold. And it's been rough, and I'm sure I sound really super sinusy, more than normal. And I'm running. So anyway, I feel like crap, but that's not the point. When I feel like crap, I often get on Facebook and do a little bit of arguing. Not trolling, per se, but... So here's the thing. I got in a little debate with a fella who, I was able to show him proof. I posted proof. He was talking about how the government is working, how it works, what it's supposed to do, different branches and all that stuff. And he said something that just didn't hold true. It wasn't true at all. So I called him out on it, I'm like, well, that's not how it is. It's this way. This branch is part of this branch and this and this and this. No, it's not. You're an idiot. Like, well, whether I'm an idiot or not is irrelevant, buddy. The fact is, according to the government website itself and its, channel of responsibilities, here it is. Here it is in print from the government. He's like, well, that's wrong. I have a degree from Harvard. I have a doctorate degree from Harvard, and you're just an idiot. Okay, well, I may be an idiot. I'm not going to argue with that. But I'm not wrong. I mean, I'm showing you in print without any, that's just on Google. Right. You can Google the government's website and go there and read it. It says it right there on the website. Well, yeah, but you just have a Wikipedia in government education. I have a degree from Harvard. If this is indicative of the education of a Harvard graduate with a doctorate, Harvard, you guys are running a hell of a good scam here. I want in. I want to be able to get people to pay me what people are paying you for that sorry-ass education. Because that was embarrassing. This dude embarrassed himself. And it went on, and it kept going, and I kept putting up more and more and more proof, and he kept saying, well, what's your education? Look, guys, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this to all of you. I'm going to say this right now. Education is important. It is. It is a foundation for real learning. That is, you can tell me how to do something before I do it, so that when I'm doing it, I have some idea of which way to go. But it's not knowledge. Education and knowledge are not the same things. You can learn from somebody explaining to you what it's like to drown, but you don't know what it's like to drown until you're underwater and can't breathe. So don't come at me with this, look how much education I have, when it's just people indoctrinating you. It's just basic fundamental information, and it has no real substantive strength. There's nothing there. It's vapid. So this idiot, I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you an idiot. No, yeah, I do, because you are an idiot. You are, man. I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. Because the fact that you were throwing your education around like it meant everything, and that all the proof that I had, which was empirical, meant nothing, all that tells me is that you're an idiot. You're just too stupid to know that you're an idiot. That's all. You think that your education means something. I don't believe you really have a Harvard education. I don't. I think you were talking out of your butt. But let's pretend you were not lying. Let's pretend you were telling the truth. The fact that you avoided any actual concrete proof or even anything that looked evidentiary and went straight toward, well, I have a Harvard degree and you are just a peon of no knowledge. That's all we need to know, buddy. That's all we need to know. What was worse, I think, was at the end of it, the moments before he blocked me, which tells you a lot too. We'll get to that. But moments before he blocked me, he went to, suggesting that I go, play with myself, and he referred to the size of his genitalia being bigger than mine as, I don't know, a final, I got you. I have a bigger junk than you. That is your argument? Yeah, it might be now because I broke mine off in your ass, dude. I did. I broke it right off. I absolutely crushed you. And you hated it, so you blocked me. I made you look like a fool in front of all your peers. You idiot. Yeah, this is personal. This is personal. But it's not personal to be personal. It's personal to make a point. I did all of this, and this is a true story. None of this is a lie. Because this isn't just this particular dude with this particular Harvard degree. This is everybody in society. Look, don't question my education. I will tell you that if you have a question of my education, look at what I can do and tell me that my education is flawed. Look at what I know and can prove and tell me my education is flawed. If we're discussing what somebody said in a certain amount of time, and I bring it up and I point it out, I say, this is what it says that he says according to all of these witnesses, and you say, well, yeah, but he wouldn't have said that. Well, okay, maybe you have an argument. But in practical things, tangible things, that's the sky. That sky up there is the sky. It doesn't matter how much education you have and what your education says. That's the sky. Dude, stop it. Stop it with this bragging about how much school you have. Look, I know people who have had very little education. I don't know, Benjamin Franklin, 2 years of education. I'm not going to call him an idiot. He was not an idiot. He invented some of the greatest things we've ever seen. So, I've also, I do not mean to insult you. I really don't, because if you're watching this, you're not this guy. But I will tell you this. I've met hundreds of people with doctorates in my life, and I could count on one finger the number of intelligent ones I've met. And when I say intelligent, I don't mean, that they're idiots. What I mean is most people with a doctorate spent so much time being told that they don't know anything else. They haven't actually learned how anything really works in real life. They've spent their entire lives in school. And their knowledge is so focused that everything outside of their realm is complete oblivion to them. They have no idea what's going on. Yep, my dog saw something that got his attention. Sorry about that. The dog kind of went crazy. So, the point is, I know a lot of people who've got a great deal of formal education and very little practical knowledge. Most of them are, well, flighty. Not very well focused and not good at life. A lot of that is because it's hard to be disciplined enough to get that much education if you're intelligent enough to not bother. I mean, really, I know that's an insult, but the reality is it takes a lot of discipline to get that far in education. And I don't know a lot of super intelligent people who have discipline. They just don't go together. It's just not, it happens, but it's not common. Most people are either really disciplined or really intelligent. In fact, when I got my ASVAB score going into the military, my recruiter showed it to one of the commanders, and says, so what does this tell you about this guy? And the guy looked at me, and he looked at the ASVAB score and all that I did on it. I'm going to say I got a high score, an unusually high score. So he looked at all that. He's like, well, either you have spent your entire life in school or you're a high school dropout. It's one or the other. And given the technical scores that I got, he said, I'm thinking you probably dropped out of high school. I did. Now I went back and completed it, but that's not the point. I did drop out of high school. And I learned all the things you're supposed to know the fun way, the educational way. I actually learned them. I didn't have somebody telling me about them in a classroom, from the front of a room where I was being lectured on what life was. Nope. Life lectured me the hard way, man. Life wrapped its tentacles around me and beat me against the wall for the last 35 years. So I learned a lot. But anyway, so you guys get the point. I'm not trying to belittle education by any stretch. It's important, and you want to get as much as you possibly can in your life. Educate yourself a lot, but do not make the mistake of thinking that a great deal of education is a trump card for practical reality. You need both. You need to do both. You need to go out and get as educated as you can. And you need to have common sense. If you just have common sense and you don't have an education, that doesn't make you smarter than someone with an education. And it goes the other way. It works both ways. So, anyway, look, guys, I appreciate you sitting through this particular rant. It was fun. And I've got a lot more where that comes from, but I'm sure you're sick of hearing it by now. So, thank you so much. Don't you forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. I will see you.
You heard a while, but that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true.